let's walk through kind of the beginning. I mean, you're from Early. You've been teaching for 12 years. You had 10 here in Eastland, and you kind of built this program up. So I mean, let's look at the big picture here. I mean, was this ever something you dreamed of when you first got here?
Winning a Grammy? Was that something that I dreamed of when I first got here?
Yeah.
No, winning a Grammy is not a thing that teachers do, right? Like it's an unexpected thing, and fortunately, the Recording Academy, wow, that was weird. Fortunately, the Recording Academy and the Grammy Museum put a spotlight on teachers in this way, and so, no, this wasn't really something that was a long-term plan. Long-term plan was to just try to do right by the students and be a good teacher.
Right, and so, obviously, that is your first and foremost priority, and it shows with the support that your students gave you this morning. So talk to me about that. When you got into teaching music education, because my wife's in music education, so talk to me about what were your goals for the year? Obviously, putting the Grammy aside, I mean, how was the Eastland band program? Because I'm not super familiar with it. I mean, was it pretty good, pretty bad? I mean, what are we looking at?
You're talking about when I came here? Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I was really lucky. I came here because the Eastland band director was very good. He was one of my mentors, Terry Everetts. He actually taught me in middle school in Brownwood for a year and a half. And he was doing wonderful things with the band. The band program was a little small, but they were amazing. They'd gone to state marching contest in 2011. I mean, I came in 2012, right? And so anyway, I came here to learn from him. And then I was fortunate that when he retired, I was able to take his position. I was able to hire Jet Lawrence, who's an Eastland alumni, and we were able to really build up the program and put something special together. And then a few years later, we hired Juan Hernandez as our percussion director. And so we've got an amazing team. Like, that's why the band program is great here, is because we have an amazing team, amazing students, and amazing support from our school and administration.
Right, and one thing that everybody has mentioned, from what I've seen online to what everybody said this morning, is you didn't want the spotlight to be on you, because yes, you played a pivotal role in making obviously all this happen, but it's the band, it's the kids, it's your co-directors. I mean, so talk to me about working with them and working with the students. How proud of you are the students, because they got you in the spot?
Well, listen, our small town kids are as good as the students anywhere, like anywhere, you know. And when I was growing up in a small town in early Texas, I didn't always realize that. And what I really hope is that my students realize it. They're as good as the students anywhere. They can do anything that any other person can, and that being from a small community is a strength and not a weakness. They're all, I mean, they're wonderful, right? Like, they're brilliant. They have endless potential, and once they realize it, they can act on it, and then that's beautiful, right? My co-directors are brilliant teachers. We work together every day. They're my best friends. And so it all has to come together. Like, I don't think anything that anybody has ever achieved has come together because of a single person's effort. It's a community, it's a family, it's all of those things coming together. And if you don't recognize that, then you probably don't deserve the achievement.
Mm-hmm. And so talk to me about what is a day with you at the helm, with the kids? What does that look like? Because obviously y'all have a great student-to-teacher relationship, almost as if y'all are best friends, and that's the kind of relationships I know that left a lasting impact on me as a student. So talk to me about a day in the life of what you do and building those relationships and why that's so important.
Yes, so, and I hope my students know this, but I really care about them. And that has to come first. And so we are constantly working on music. That's what the band program is, and that's a big collaborative activity. And so everybody has to do their part. And part of my job is making sure everyone knows that they can do their part, and then holding them accountable for that. And maybe the hardest thing about band, at least in Eastland, is that we start at 7:45 or 7:15 in the morning. So those students come in and they are still asleep, and we have to work together to get them ready for the rest of their day. And I hope that because they're in that first period band and we're getting to collaborate together, that their day is a little better the rest of the day.
Right. And so talk to me, I got to ask about the Grammys. I mean, that's a huge deal. Not everybody gets to go, number one, win one, number two, go. So talk to me about that day, what that day was like. I mean, getting there, the day, the event, I mean, and then coming back, talk to me, I mean, it's got to be a whirlwind, almost a blur to you.
Yes, it feels like it was all just some type of dream, especially now that I'm back. I mean, it was beautiful. The Recording Academy and the Grammy Museum do the award, and they take it really seriously. They try to elevate educators to the level of the celebrities that are at the Grammys. They know how important that name is, and they're very serious about spotlighting music education. And so we went there, and we had an escort. There's a man who helped us out with everything. His name's David Sears. He's a music teacher. He's in charge of the program. He brought us in, and when we actually got to the Grammy Awards, like, they gave us amazing seats. We were like 20 feet away from the stage sitting with celebrities. There were celebrities that didn't have as good a seats as we had, and that's because the Recording Academy and the Grammy Museum think it's that important. Every single person I talked to, as soon as they found out I was a teacher, they were just like so happy to speak to me, and they all started telling me about their music teachers. That's what this is, right? Is at every single level of achievement, you see people that owe that achievement to their school experience, to their teachers. And I think that what surprises me the most is that that was readily apparent, What surprises me the most is that was readily apparent throughout the whole red carpet experience, and all the celebrities. Everybody still did the same thing. Teachers are important. We care about teachers. We care about education.
And how important is it for music education to be highlighted on such a national level, international level even? I mean, because that's for what you do and what you strive to do to build relationships with these kids, make these kids the best kids they can be. How important is it for it to be highlighted like that?
It's incredibly important for us to be highlighting teachers, and music teachers especially in my case, but listen, all teachers, because there's a lot of people that whatever agenda they have, they want to be putting down education and putting down teachers. But if you go into any public school, any school period in the United States, and you spend any amount of time there, you're going to see miracles happening. You're going to see kids growing, you're going to see connections being built. And so I really feel like what they were highlighting with us and what they're highlighting is the reality of what's going on, and people need to be aware of it. And
so let's talk about this morning. Did you know that this was going on? Did you know this was for you? It was going to be as big as it was?
I knew there was going to be an event. I had no idea exactly what it was going to be, and so this was just, I know that I got to go to the Grammys, and that was amazing. But being back here with my students and seeing my Eastland ISD family again, like, I felt so loved, and this was so beautiful and meant more to me than probably anything that's ever happened in my life.
What was the first wave of emotions that hit you when you came in on the makeshift red?
That's right, they made me a red carpet. It felt really good to be home again, and again, I loved that experience. I'm going to be, thinking about that for the rest of my life. But just being back here and being home and realizing that I got to make that connection and be a part of both those worlds for a little bit, I don't know. I felt very loved, and I hope that my students and my community feel as loved on a daily basis as what I got to feel today.
And one of the signs that stood out to me was Harry won, Cox won. So you've got as many Grammys as Harry Styles. So, I mean, that's a pretty good achievement for Eastland, Texas.
My students are engrossed in popular music, right? Like the Grammys, those are all their favorite artists. And that's really important that they can connect the music that we make in our band hall and what we're doing with what they're listening to on the radio. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. That student is obsessed with Harry Styles, and I hear about it every single day in my classroom. And for her to make a poster that was putting me on the same level as Harry Styles, that means that student cares about me as much as I care about them.
And that's obviously the ultimate goal of being a teacher, from at least speaking to my wife, speaking to you. And how cool was it to have your family here with you and to have your kids with you and to walk out with you? How cool was that?
That meant everything. They're the biggest part of my life. I got to go and do this trip with my wife, Stephanie. She's an amazing teacher. I'm in awe of her every single day. And my children are amazing. And getting to be here with them, no other way would have been appropriate.
And so, wrapping up here, Stephen, and I'll let you go. Looking ahead, does that change the way you run your classroom? And we'll scrap that because that was going to be a bad question. I just know it. You got a place for the award? You got a place dusted off, ready on this mantle?
I have no idea where I'll put it. That was the bad question. The question you were going to ask me before was a better question. So I have no answer for that question. I have no idea where I would put that. I assume it has to be on a shelf. I think that's how that works. But
all right. Well, I have to ask at the end of every interview, is there anything I may have left out, anything you'd like to add about your students, your directors, the experience, the pep rally this morning, and what it took to get here? Because I know it took a lot of hard work.
I'm so proud of my community and of my students, of my administrators, of my other directors, and of the team that we've put together here. And I think that they are all really special, and this award is all just a reflection of that, like how wonderful this place is and how hard everybody works together to make this happen.